Hello, and the great Vinny Smile Chopra. Vinny, welcome back, man. I see you indoors, so it must be pretty chilly in
Yes,
California.
45 degrees, brother, outside, 45. I just took shower and all. I said, I'm going to sit in the studio my office.
So for everybody who's coming in, Vinny lives in Black Hawk, California. It is very close. It's actually on the golf course. So you're actually on a golf course. The
Two
old
golf
Madden
courses.
family used to live there,
Yeah, yes.
and we're getting close to
And
Christmas.
guess what? The rapper, E40, is that right? Yeah,
E40, the rapper.
right there. I can see his house right there on that window. I mean, on that mountain.
So, bro, I was just checking the temperature here in Cleveland is 36 degrees. But in
Ah,
Tampa, Florida, where I've lived the last 4 years, it
hmm.
is 80 degrees. So
Oh, look at
it
that.
feels interesting to be in cold weather with you. So, all right. So this wealth principle is an interesting one. Book of the week, Set for Life. We talked about it this Saturday, but we want to dive into the mindset of a billionaire, somebody who has raised and invested. And I know when I say the word billionaire, like, hey man, hold on, ease up. So for everybody listening, Vinny came to this country with $7 in his pocket. He raised $220 million, bought $1.6 billion worth of real estate, over 13,000 units. Is that correct, Vinny?
No, no, no. 8,500. 8,500.
8,500 units, so 8,500 units, and then hundreds of hotel units. I don't know how many keys that is. Have
Yes,
you ever added that
yes.
up? Did you ever
You
add
know,
up how many keys?
I think less than thousand, but next year it's going to be huge, huge because, I'm really focused into hospitality. Yeah.
And so I know a while back you had the C class, was it 506 C? You
Yes,
did
yes,
the
yes.
$100
$50
million
million,
fund for
$100 million fund. And
hospitality. So
yep, yep,
so one
yep.
of the
And now
tranches is
I have.
coming up, so it's time to bring in investors starting what in
You
the new year?
bet, you bet. The beauty is, if I may talk about it a little bit, I just started and
It's your
raised
fun. As long as you
1.3
don't get in
million.
trouble. I can't get in trouble.
No, you won't. It's 506C, which is for accredited investors only. And I raised 1.3 million in just 5 days. 5 days for hotel that's opening up in the peninsula, right there in the panhandle of Florida, Pensacola, Alabama area, right there. It's a boutique hotel, fantastic hotel opening up like in June, I think. And it's going to be every daily rate of $465. It's a romantic getaway
I,
with plunge pool and concierge and butler. Oh my gosh, it's going
I
to
gotta
be
stop you.
amazing.
I gotta ask questions now because I know we got a principle. We want to dive into this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't save for a rainy day. Save to invest. But I have a buddy who owns a little boutique hotel out in Toledo, Tennessee, and
Uh-huh.
his rates are $150 a night. Now I stayed in his lodge. This thing is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's amazing. There's only 17 doors. And
Hmm.
a competitor whose lodge does not look anywhere near as nice, and the rooms are it looks like just like a normal traditional hotel. These are like
Hmm.
actual log cabins out in the woods.
Hmm.
Is charging 450 down the street just because they know to charge 450. Just because they know to.
That's
And
it. That's it.
I'm listening to you. You're in Pensacola, California. So like Pensacola,
in
Florida. So that's
in the
not
in the in the real time, this is right now 465 whatever we are taking average in our underwriting, but in the real heated season it's going to be $750 per night. And we had stayed in those hotels abroad and all that, they are boutique, they are very, very butlers and this and great bars and all the ambience, and the restaurant food is exquisite, 7 star, all that kind of stuff, five to
and
five, 7 star.
that's what it takes to get to $500 and $700 a night is just a
Yeah.
little bit of extra, service,
Yes. Yep.
specialness to it. So it's like you take your spouse out there for a honeymoon, you're out there for a an anniversary, or it's a
Yes.
business retreat where you take people out there and you do it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So
Yep.
I don't want to jump into that too much.
Yeah.
But I'm very impressed because it's Pensacola. That is a tertiary market. It's not Miami. You're not doing this in Miami,
Hmm.
or you're not doing it in San Francisco or LA. You're doing it in a
Yeah.
tertiary market. Why does that make
Hmm.
so much sense?
It's the tourism. It's the tourism, brother. What is happening right now? Disney World gets millions of people. Then the Dolly Parton, Dollyville, I think over there in, near Knoxville, it gets lots, and then Las Vegas, and now Biloxi and all these places, Pensacola, they are becoming huge tourist attractions. And there are like certain beaches which are millionaires beaches, they call billionaires, maybe beaches. It's some kind of highway over there. Some people will know what I'm talking about. I was there last year, and these mansions were big, $1 million to $7 million right there on the beaches.
I drove through Biloxi, or was close to Biloxi, went through Birmingham on our way up to Jackson, Mississippi, and we did Pensacola. We just drove through that whole area, and I missed New
Mhm.
Orleans on that trip, but I had been through New Orleans. That's another one of those vacation areas, very close by Biloxi, very close to where you're at in
Yes.
Pensacola. It's an interesting area that people aren't paying attention to, but you're right, it's an opportunity.
It's opportunity, and it's increasing every year. More and more tourism is becoming huge over there. So it's mind blowing. And also senior living. What? People are retiring, and there are a slew of different assisted living and memory cares are being built over there too.
And you just nailed it. The reason people are traveling, they have budgets, is because they're retired. They worked their whole lives. Now they're in their
Yep.
60s and they're saying, I've got to go. And they're not
Yeah.
going to places that are going to be a lot of adventure. They're going to places they can actually physically handle, which is
Yep.
more of that fun casino, the
Hmm.
nature
Hmm.
walk, like that nice lighter kind of adventure.
Yes.
Okay,
So
cool.
true,
I just want to
brother.
make sure I understood it. So dive into the principle. Don't save for a rainy day. Save to invest. I know that you have been changing up your academy, so it's actually kind of cool. We were talking
Yes.
about that before. Switch up the academy to talk more about capital raising. So capital raising
Hmm.
ties very closely to saving because obviously you can't raise capital from somebody who doesn't have money. And teaching this principle, save to invest versus save it for a rainy day. I know I've heard you speak about, or Grant Cardone speak about, if you save for rainy days, you'll have rainy days. You're of the
Hmm.
positive mindset of what you think about, you bring about. So if you save to invest, obviously, naturally, we should have more investments. How has this manifested? Have you seen this in entrepreneurs who were constantly thinking about, well, I got to save because I never know. I got to save because something can go bad. I got to save because do they really
See,
have more bad things happen to them?
you know what happens is, see, the thing is, people say when you save and you put money in the bank, you got hundreds of thousands or whatever dollars, the inflation eats up that, the buying power, we call it, right? So you got to be saving money to invest, not to just save money to put it under the pillow. That's not going to make you more money, grow your money. Velocity of money is what I really, really believe in. Everybody believes it. And also not putting the money in 1%, 2%, 4%. Take calculated risks and let the money grow at 8% a year or 10%. And like S&P is doing amazing this year. Now we have had some very bad couple of days, but the big thing is you got to be mindset should be, I want to earn more to take care of my family, also give to charities. You got to give. You got to give. The more you get, the more money comes back. The more you give, more comes back. But the other part is giving bonuses and different things and best salaries to your, team members and all those things. But when the money is saved at the end of the day, invest them into and diversify. Diversification is the big key. You got to put it a little bit over there, a little bit over there, a little bit in, like multi-families. And I've invested in mobile homes and marinas and boats. And what is that? Oh, the oil and gas. What? I'm going to get 100% deduction for giving 200,000. I just wrote a check, and I'm going to get 200 back in tax and 2.3x of my money with 9% dividends starting next year. And then the equity gain in 3 to 5 years. And heavy equipment, very good friend of mine, Tim Mai, I was just interviewing him
Oh, I know
yesterday.
Tim Mai. Yeah.
Tim, he's amazing. He's amazing. And we interviewed for good 48 minutes yesterday, and it's going to be coming out in my episode. Amazing person. And he mentioned about heavy equipments also, where you can get even, you put in some money. I'm not, well, it's by the way, this podcast is for only entertainment and educational purposes. We're not giving any advice. You got to talk to your
Not
attorney,
financial
CPA.
advice.
No, no, we are not giving any financial advice. Just we are talking about things. But the key thing is you got to diversify. You got to put not all the money, all the savings in one basket, or all the eggs in one basket, and the basket goes berserk, you're gone. So you got to diversify in real estate. That's what we are in. A lot of real estate, which is great. You could do hotels, you could do multifamily, you could do, don't do office buildings, even though if you're converting them, now is the best time to buy office buildings and small buildings, strip centers, and convert them into hotels or to senior assisted livings and things like that. But the thing is, compounding effect is so important to understand. What's compounding effect? It's the rule of 72. What that means is 72 number, if you're making 6% growth of money each year, if your 100,000 is earning 6%, inflation is 2 or 3 or 4%, then you're even actually, but you make 106. So it will take you 72 divided by 6 means 12 years, your money would be double. So
Yep.
it's the rule of 72 to double your money. You divide 72 by 12%. Hold on. If you're making each year 12% on your money, then it's going to take you 6 years, 6 years, 6 years to double your money. Now, what if you are making 25% per year? You could do it in 3 years. You can double your money in 3 years, almost less than 3 years. So, compound effect is very big. But the biggest thing I try to tell everybody, brother, is education, education,
Yep.
education. Don't be naive. I mean, everything is at our fingertips, literally. Financial knowledge is so much free knowledge, good knowledge through podcasts, through YouTube videos, through different channels, through books. I mean, there are so many, and every institution has an academy like Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard. They teach you right inside how to invest.
So for everybody listening, we're talking about the principle eight, wealth principle eight. Don't save for a rainy day. Save to invest. At the beginning of this, we were talking about some investments Vinney had made, and now we're shifting into like the education of investing itself. Vinney just kind of gave us this pro tip of educate yourself. Right? There's one reason people don't invest. It's because they don't have the confidence, and confidence comes from education, and
Mhm.
they don't have the experience. Experience comes from educating yourself. So you go out and you do something, and then you learn, and then you get more confident, and then eventually you decide to do bigger and better deals. The connections, the rule of 72. This is basic financial
Basic
understanding.
financial.
We look at investments, say if I can't make 12%, I'm not interested. That's just one of the spots, like a bottom
Yeah.
line. And the number 25 was another number early in my career. I just realized I've got to
Yeah.
hit 25. If I'm not hitting 25%, I'm falling
Mhm.
behind. And when you go
Mhm.
over 25 intentionally, when you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this investment could do 35% or 40%,
Yeah.
that's usually where people start making mistakes. Like that's usually where the
Mhm.
money starts, it disappears
Risky.
and whoops.
Very risky. Yeah. 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 I mean, if it's a green pasture, if it's something too good to be true, it really is.
Yeah.
Please watch those words. If somebody says, I can double your money, I can triple your money, and this and that, never, never, never invest. Look at who you are putting money into, understand the vehicle. There was a very good book, actually, about stock market, and it was the Magellan Fund, number one fund, billions of dollars, many years back. I forget the publisher's name, but he was the CFO or CEO. And when he retired, he wrote the book. He said, only invest in the things that you understand. Even
Yeah.
the companies, what they do, you need to understand.
That's exactly right. So we're giving you a lot of advice right now. This is not financial advice. This is things we've
Mm-mm.
learned, and we're pulling information from other sources as well. So as
Yeah.
we're going through and diving into, what we invest in and why we invest, we're not going to go too deep into the details of what it is.
No,
We want you
no.
to really listen to put the money aside for a reason. If you put the money aside, now if you're putting money aside, let's say it's $10,000, and you let a year go by, it's sat in not a bank account, it's just sat under your bed. One, a
Hmm.
fire could burn the money and it's gone. Now you don't have that money.
Yeah.
It's just cash. So cash is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Saving in a bank account is better, but it only earns 1%, less than 1%. So if your inflation rate is
Hmm.
8% or 7%, you're losing 6 or 8%, 7% per year. You
Yep.
start shifting into assets that the hold period is longer. Maybe it's not as liquid, but you put the hold period into a 5 or 7 or a 10-year asset class that gives you a 15 or a 25% IRR or a 20% IRR.
Yeah.
You start
Hmm.
looking at okay, I gave you a word. Internal rate of return. That's
Yeah.
the
IRR. Yep.
8% preferred rate that you're getting annually plus the equity exposure you get inside the project,
Yes. Yes.
which can lead to a doubling. I know Vinny just said don't double your money, but doubling over 5 years is realistic.
Five
Doubling over
years.
7 years,
Yeah.
it's realistic. That's,
Yep. Hmm.
25% means 4 years of doubling. So 20% would be 5 years of doubling. And those are numbers you can look for as you're evaluating this. So the next step is you put money not just to save for a rainy day. That's liquid. Yeah, maybe you need 5,000, 10,000 for a rainy day. But once you get past that threshold and you get your runway of like be able to pay your bills for a couple of months, you start needing, not needing, but you start wanting to get to money growing for you, kind of like these mountains. They didn't grow overnight, but they're pushed up by other forces, right? Forces external to you. So you put your money into something that's giving you a 15 or a 20% IRR, you end up with 5 years from now a doubling. While
Yeah.
you were working and putting that more money aside, that money went out and doubled for you, and now it creates more opportunity for your life. It's like having a second employee, right? If you're earning $100,000 a year, over 5 years, you're able to save 20% of your income. That's 5 years you worked to save $100,000. But now you
Hmm.
invest that in a project, that project's working just as hard as you, so
Yeah.
5 years from now, it's earned 100,000. Well, you did that same thing again. Now the doubling factor is now being doubled by that asset plus you, plus now in 5 years, you can make that double type of investment. You got four assets
Yeah.
that are paid
Hmm.
for by other, like three of them were paid for by other assets. You
Totally.
start you
Totally.
start thinking it's like scale 5 years, 10
Mhm.
years from now, your net worth should be 4 times heavier than it is today with the right investments.
I am so glad we are talking about this. The biggest thing also, and I have a great friend, Bronson Hales. You might know him too. He's coming on my show tomorrow, Vinny and Bo show, and he's written two books. The key thing is Fire Yourself was one book he did first. Second one is Rich Brain. I love this second book, Rich Brain. What it talks about is the mindset. See, lots of us feel that we are not worthy of making more money. We are not worthy. We don't have the confidence. We don't have the gumption. We don't have the desire, or we just feel so not ready to
Yeah.
do that, a switch in our brain that, I can make more money. I can earn more money, side hustles or my W-2 job. W-2 job just brings so much. I always say that you got to start a corporation, a company, special company, side business in your hobby. See, what I'm doing right now for the last 18 years is my hobby. I mean, I can be talking. I was talking 19 hours yesterday, with webinars and meetings and this and that, 19 hours. And my wife said, are you not tired? I said, no, I'm so pumped up because I didn't work. I did not. I enjoyed the 19 hours. And the beauty is, we watch the shows in television in the bedroom until 11:30. I got up at 4 o'clock. I got up at yesterday. I think I got up at 4:15 or something. I mean, went to bed at 11:30 or something. But I was awake. I was awake like crazy because the energy, what you put into, it makes it so much fun for you. See, it's not work then. So that's why I say please start a side business, side hustle in your what you can give to the community, what you can give, write a book or do something or teach something or learn some skills like I did. I didn't know literally what LOI was. This is the truth. 20 years back, I didn't know LOI because I was buying single family homes. You just go into a contract. There is nothing called LOI, in the single family home. So when my friend told me who was in apartments, he says, Vinny, LOI. I wrote that word and then I asked him, could you give me on a napkin? He wrote it down what LOI is, terms of buying and deadline and everything, how much. That's who I am. I didn't know cash flow. I didn't know ROI, return on investment. I didn't know IRR. I did not know nothing 20 years back. And here I'm now teaching people and academy and books I've written and, took from $7 to 1.3 billion in portfolio. It was due to education. The education is the key to success.
Multiple podcasts. Yeah, you've done some really big deals, and I think Vinny, you just brought something up that I want to share with the people who are listening, right? The person who's listening who needs to hit the share button right now, right? Share, like, subscribe.
Yeah.
This principle of desire. I don't think we hit it well enough. I have noticed the
Mhm.
reason people don't make what they want to make, the reason 96% of this country is broke or poor or struggling or earning less than six figures, the
Mhm.
reason is because most people don't even want more. And
Yeah.
that is such
Okay.
a factor that they'll tell you, "Oh, I want more." I'm like, "Well, it's this work." I'm like, "I don't want to do that." So you don't want it bad enough to do the work that is
You got
required
it. You
to
got it.
attain the goal. But
Yes.
you told me, "Oh, must be nice," or "I'd like to have that," or "I want that lifestyle." And then when presented the opportunity to do so, or the opportunity to invest, "Oh, I wish I was invested in an asset like that." Okay, here's the opportunity. Ah, well, I don't know enough. You got to get educated. You
Yeah.
gotta you gotta
You
take the
get
time to slow down, read the book, go on the
totally.
webinar, take the podcast,
Totally. Oh
call
my
the investors,
gosh.
ask the questions, because your lack of education is stopping your money from growing, right? Your lack of education is stopping
Exactly.
your money from getting to that next level. And I think you're right. In the beginning, Vinny, it really is, I think, desire. When people don't have money, it's they
Big
don't
desire.
want it bad enough. When
Yeah,
people do
exactly.
have money but it's not growing, it's because they
Hmm.
lack education.
Yeah.
I think education becomes more and more important. The more money a person has, the more education they require to get it to
Yeah.
grow, because it
So
doesn't
true.
take a lot of intelligence to make money from hard work. That just takes work ethic and desire.
It's the
And then there's
desire.
this,
It's the
yeah,
mind shift, desire, and action.
yeah,
You got to act. I mean, don't say, okay, next year I'll do this, or in 6 days I'll do this, or 6 months I'll do this. That's this false, totally false.
yeah,
You are not committed to your goal. You
right,
got to really write it down, put it all around your home, and tell your spouse and your family that
yeah,
dad is going to be or mom is going to be starting this business and all in. I mean, I started this business with $1,000,
that's right.
literally $1,000. I mean, my wife, we had quite a bit money when I started this business. We were multimillionaires before this. But the key thing is, they didn't want me to spend any money because it
She
was
don't want to risk
unknown
it.
job.
Yeah,
Didn't risk it.
yep.
So by learning, by spending $30,000 and getting the coach and really honing in the skills, I remember 14 units when I bought for 180,000, we were shivering, literally. Should we buy or not? Should we buy or not? Should we buy or not? And it took me 11 months to close that deal, to find it, underwrite all that. And then I bought 109 units, same Friday. Monday, I closed on 14 units and 11 months seller financing, 2.5 million. So 180,000 on Monday and 2.5 million, 2.4 million on Friday. Anyway, but the big thing is it's the education, it's the desire. Like, I don't know much about senior living. I did 6 years back. But then I got immersed and immersed and immersed and immersed. And now I'm teaching senior living, which
Crazy.
is going to be a big thing.
It's crazy. And your webinars are coming up. I know you have one. You said,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
teaching
Hotel
tonight or are you teaching
webinar.
this week?
It's today at 10 o'clock, right at 10. And about 20 minutes, I'll be doing the hotel seminar. And anybody who wants to get a ticket, just go to Eventbrite. Eventbrite is a beautiful website. Vinney Chopra, you'll come to all the webinars. I'm putting in January 4 webinars, February 4 webinars. Every month, there'll be 4 webinars for accredited investors only. Those people who have money or who want to raise money. I do one raising money webinar, which is multifamily millionaires. Then the rest is senior living, oil and gas, tax webinar. And then I do the hospitality. So those are the 4 I'll be doing for accredited investors. So, all right. Thank you, brother.
There it is.
Yeah.
So Eventbrite. So if somebody's looking for, so go to Eventbrite and then spell your name properly, Vinney
Yeah.
Chopra,
Vinney Chopra,
they'll all show up.
Vinney. They'll all show up and then you just buy ticket free. It's always free ticket. I'll never charge money to educate, in that webinar. Maybe someday I will, but at
After
this
the
time.
webinar, yes, but the free webinar is free. I
It
love
was
it.
such a pleasure, brother. Such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Walter. And by the way, next week is going to be the last of the year, looks like, So look forward to seeing you next Thursday morning. And it's Christmas Day that day, or what is it? No, 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 no. It's after Christmas.
It will
So
be the day after
after
Christmas.
Christmas,
So
day
you'll
after
you'll see us
Christmas.
live
Yes.
Abundance Thursday, 9 a.m. PST, 12 p.m. EST. We'll have
EST.
eaten and spent
Happy
time with our
holidays.
families. So we want to wish each of
Yes.
you a very Merry Christmas,
Very
and
Merry
we'll
Christmas.
we'll
Happy
talk about the new
holidays.
year.
Be safe if you're traveling. And we'll talk about 2025 like nobody's business because it's going to be fantastic year. It's all in the mindset. If you believe 2025 is going to be a fabulous year, it will be. If you think it's going to be mundane or anything and worse year in your life, it probably will be that way too.
Whether you
Really.
think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you, Carter. Thank you, brother.